Start.
Hello students, today I am going to teach you the first lesson from your textbook. The title of this lesson is The Fun They Had from Beehive textbook. The writer of this lesson is Isaac Asimov. Before its summary and its explanation, we'll see about the writer. See. Isaac Asimov was born in 1920 and died in 1992. A Russian-born American writer. Why he was a Russian-born American writer? He was born in Russia, but then after he and his whole family migrated in America. That's why he was a Russian-born American writer. He considered one of the great science fiction authors, and this story also based on science fiction. He wrote more than 500 books covering virtually all areas of knowledge. So, this is about the author of this lesson. Now we'll see its summary. The fun they had before that, I would like to tell you about the mechanical teacher. Right. Now see mechanical teacher. First of all, how mechanical teacher will be. This story is set in a future time. It means that the writer talks about the mechanical teacher, and we people have a person as a teacher. So, mechanical teacher, how it will be. In a school of a future, see, first, learning through a computers. Students will learn from a computers. It means the teacher is only a computer, mechanical teacher. Then virtual classroom. Students will get in the classroom in their own bedroom. So, virtual classroom. In their bedroom, computer will be there. On the screen of the computer, they will get all that materials and syllabus of all the subjects and everything they will learn from the computer screen. Then, robotic teacher also we can say as a mechanical teacher. And moving textbook. Moving textbook means what? On the screen, they will get all the subjects, maths, science, essays, all subjects, and moving e-text, it means one by one all the text will come. So this is a mechanical teacher. Now we'll see the summary of this lesson. Summary of this lesson. In this lesson, Isaac Asimov described about the future time. What this lesson begins with Margie, 11 years old girl, and she was writing in her diary about an old book that Tommy had found. Now what she was writing in her diary? She was writing in her diary about what Tommy got. Tommy got what? A real book, and from his house. And when she showed this book, she became very surprised. And Margie was reminded of her grandfather who had once talked about his grandfather who went to an actual school where the students were taught by human teachers. Then, however, Margie and Tommy lived in the future world in the year 2157. 2157. How we know this? Because when Margie was writing her diary, she wrote, you people know that how to write diary entry, right? On the page, she wrote what? 17th May 2157. It means that in a present time we are living in 2020 and they are living in 2157, right? It means that they are living in a future. So this story set in a future, and this Margie was writing this date on her diary. Then what happened? She described what? In a future time where education was completely computerized. They did not go to school. Instead, they had a special study room where a computer taught them, and the computer teacher was programmed and adjusted according to the needs of each child. Now and then, the computer teacher developed faults which were fixed by a county inspector. So these all things happen in the story, right? Few in between of the story, Margie and Tommy had done some arguments about the person as a teacher. They did not like it. Then both Tommy and Margie wondered at the book found by Tommy in his attic. They wondered at it as they read books on the screen of their computer teacher. Margie felt that the computer teacher was boring. She disliked the mechanical teaching and learning. She also wondered how much fun it would be and studying in a school, studying in a fun way with other children, and that too from a human teacher. So this is the summary of this lesson. So we have seen its summary, right? The writer tries to make us a comparison between mechanical teacher and a person as a teacher. Now we'll see who is the best, mechanical teacher or a person as a teacher. Finally, they agreed with this. We'll see in the lesson. Now I will start its explanation. See. First paragraph of this lesson. Margie even wrote it when night in her diary. On the page headed May 17th, 2157 will come here. She wrote, Tommy found a real book. At last she used here exclamation marks and written in double inverted comma. See, in the first two lines, what Margie said, the writer here, Isaac Asimov, described the story of this future time, right? Education. What is the main theme of this lesson is just the education, right? What happened here, how it will be in a future time and how it is in a present time. What education, Margie and Tommy describe it in a future time and we people are describing it in a present time. See, Margie even wrote, now in her diary, Margie, two main characters are here in this story. First one it's a Margie and second it's a Tommy, right? So Margie and Tommy. Margie wrote in her diary what she wrote on the page headed 17th May 2157. I said before also she wrote on her diary on the page what she wrote 17th May 2157. It means that they are 1.5 century ahead than we people, right? See, and then she wrote after the date, today Tommy found a real book. See, this title she made there. And see here, real book. Real book means what for them, right? It's the words and sentence which printed on a paper, right? Which we have a book, right? Which we have a book, real book. And Tommy found that real book. They have not a real book, they have a e-book because they are learning for everything from the computer, from the mechanical teacher. So that's why Tommy found a real book. She wrote this title in her diary, right, during night time. Understood this paragraph? Now see what happened then after. When she saw this book, this real book, she became very surprised and she started some communication with the Tommy. In the next paragraph, she said these things to the Tommy. What? It was a very old book. Margie's grandfather once said that when he was a little boy, his grandfather told him there was a time all stories were printed on paper. Right? When she just wrote this title on her diary, what then after she said to the Tommy, this book is very old book. From where you got it? Margie's grandfather. Then she reminded. What she reminded? Once my grandfather told me that when I was a little boy, when her grandfather was a little boy, his grandfather, it means grandfather's grandfather, told him that there was a time all stories were printed on paper. It means that they are dead people, right? Her ancestors, her grandfather's grandfather learned everything from a school, right? In a one particular house. When we people in a present time, right? In 2020, we people are getting, right? So grandfather told him that we will learn everything from a real book, right? Words which already printed on a paper, right? All stories we got from the real book. Then in the next paragraph, see, they turned the pages which were yellow and crinkly, and it was awfully funny to read words that stood still instead of moving the way they were supposed to on a screen, and then when they turned back to the page before, it had the same words on it that it had when they read in the first time. See, then turn the page. Now afterward what happened? They turned the pages of that real book, and they saw what they saw. The pages of the book were very yellow, right? Because it was very old book and it was yellow and crinkly. What do you mean by crinkly? Crinkly means many faults and lines. Faults and lines, right? Many faults and lines, right? So when they turned the pages of that book, it was very yellow because it was very old book, and it was very crinkly, right? The page has many faults and lines on it, and it was awfully funny. Awfully means what? Extremely. They got, when they showed this type of pages, they extremely got it very funny, right? Extremely they got it funny to read words that stood still instead of moving the way they were supposed to. Now what do you mean here? Stood still means that in the textbook, in that real book, the words already printed. They cannot move. But what they are getting in their mechanical teacher, on the screen of the computer, words will come from this side, next word will come from this. It means that what they thought is, our words are moving here and there, right? We got all the subject one by one, but here these words already printed and they cannot move. That's why stood still instead of moving the way they were supposed to on a screen. Now Tommy said, what Tommy said here, we are getting, it's in our mechanical teacher, all words will move each other. It means afterward it will come and then when they turn back to the page before, it had the same words on it had when they read in the first time. So they said what here, this is the wastage of time. Once only story is written, it means that is the fixed only. But in our mechanical teacher, it is not fixed. One by one another stories will come. Okay students, we'll stop it here. Next we'll continue in the next session.